Live from WTVO 17 and your home team, Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
Shots ring out at a busy Rockford motel. Investigators look into a shooting at the Alpine Inn while neighboring businesses rethink their location.
Prosecutors push hard on day 3 of the George Floyd murder trial. They tried to convince the jury that former police officer Derek Chauvin is directly responsible for Floyd's death.
And shovels meet the soil at Roscoe's future community center. The township's first-of-its-kind facility will give residents something fun to do without impacting their tax dollars. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson. Rockford police investigate a shooting not far from one of the busiest intersections in the city.
No one was hurt at the Alpine Inn, but neighboring business owners say they're concerned a crime like this would happen so close to home. Ari Bruckman joins us with their reactions.
Eric and Mimi, today is just another incident that raises concern for local businesses. One store manager tells me, unfortunately, these shootings are becoming far too normal.
It's never okay. It's never okay, but the reality of the times, it's just happening more and more.
Crime scene tape and Rockford police officers could be seen after shots are fired behind the Alpine Inn on East State Street in Rockford Wednesday. Just blocks away, Gerald Denton is the store manager at King Style Barbershop. He tells me, as a father, this is extremely concerning.
It's sad, it's scary at the same time. This strip mall has been known to know how, families patron this strip mall. They bring their kids, they bring their grandkids, and that's just what it is, and to have it so near, it's just a sad time.
Ronaldo Mendoza has been coming to King Style Barbershop for a while now. He's especially worried about the recent crime. His daughter was inside the Cherryvale Mall one time last year when it went into lockdown, something Mendoza says he'll never forget.
It scared the crap out of me, and it's getting worse and worse and worse as day goes by. Like every single day is something new.
Both believe the community needs to step up to keep everyone safe.
We need more police officers on duty. We need to communicate better with the public, open up with the public as well, and gather once in a while and come with different ideas to protect our families, our communities.
I think as a community as a whole, we just gotta bring it back together and try to make it better.
The police haven't released the names of anyone involved, but I'm told they're looking at 3 people of interest for this shooting. Eric?
Thanks, Ari. A Beloit man is dead after someone opened fire late last night. It happened just after 11:30 on West Grand Avenue between Hackett and Moore Streets. Police say the 33-year-old was gunned down outside. Investigators call this an isolated incident. No word on if any arrests have been made. The victim's name has not been released. Rockford's chief of police is sticking to his guns when it comes to leaving the position. When Chief Dan O'Shea was sworn in as the Forest City's top cop in 2016, he was upfront about planning to move on by 2021. A recent article published by the Rockford Register-Star about O'Shea, quote, calling it quits, stirred up comments and questions within the community. The chief issued this statement today. Ever since I was hired, 2021 was the year that I expected to leave. As of today, I have not announced a date. When I leave, I firmly believe that the Rockford Police Department will be in a far better position than when I arrived.
A third day of emotional testimony in the trial of the former police officer accused of killing George Floyd. Derek Chauvin is charged with second and third degree murder and manslaughter. Prosecutors pushing their case that Chauvin used excessive and unnecessary force, which led to Floyd's death. More eyewitnesses were called to the stand, including a clerk at the store Floyd visited just before his death, where he allegedly paid for cigarettes with a fake $20 bill.
They kind of took him a little long to get to what he was trying to say, so it would appear that he was high.
So you just had some signs that you thought he was under the influence of something?
Yes.
A Minneapolis EMT also testified and says Chauvin prevented her from helping Floyd when he stopped breathing. The trial is expected to last about a month. Chauvin's facing 40 years in prison.
Rockford's West Side COVID vaccine clinic officially opened today. New Zion Baptist Church is on West Riverside. The mass vaccination site looks to address health equity concerns in Winnebago County. Health leaders hope more people of color will get vaccinated because 24% of all cases and 13% of all COVID-related deaths in Winnebago County are in African Americans. That group represents about 12% of the county's population. The site's expected to vaccinate 1,000 people a week. Appointments are required.
A new Pfizer study finds the pharmaceutical company shot 100% effective in children 12 and older.
This is welcome news for some state line parents, but others are hesitant to roll up their kids' sleeves. Michelle Rave joins us with more on the split reaction. Michelle?
Mimi, Eric, I spoke with several families who have differing opinions about getting their kids vaccinated. Despite their disagreement, one local doctor tells me the results of the Pfizer study means good news for the community.
Math. Right there. That was math.
Winnebago County Board member Angela Fellers is a mother of 3. She says she was happy to hear Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine is reportedly 100% effective for kids 12 and up.
I'm excited to have my children hug their grandparents again, and I'm excited for us to be contributing to our community, making sure that we're not carriers and that we're helping with herd immunity.
Mother of 4, Ani Patrick, isn't as excited.
I don't feel comfortable with something that hasn't been around long enough, and I don't want to really put that into my kids because, you know, like I said, I don't know what in the future, a couple years down the line, like, oh my gosh, this came up. Why? Well, the COVID vaccine potentially could have done this to your child.
Dr. William Rank from Swedish American says the results of the Pfizer study are encouraging.
Everyone talks about the old herd immunity thing, and in order for the United States population to get to that 70-75%, you have to do it with kids. And so I think it's important for kids to get vaccinated, to get back in school, get back in their football, choir, whatever they're involved with, you know, get back to trying to have a normal life.
Fellers says as soon as her 11-year-old Charlotte is old enough, she'll definitely get the vaccine.
Hopefully we'll have a fully vaccinated family as soon as those are available and open to children.
Patrick believes there's still too many unanswered questions.
My fear really is the long-term effects. I mean, it was a rushed vaccine, any way you look at it.
It's not like we're going to start vaccinating kids tomorrow. But it's just preliminary good news. I suspect it will continue to be that way, and if it does, I will definitely be recommending it to my patients.
Dr. Rank also recommends each family do their own research and use reputable sources to help determine their decision. Mimi?
Thanks, Michelle. An influx of cash to Illinois schools to renew students' learning experiences. It's in response to the challenging year faced by educators, parents, and students. Eyewitness News is keeping you connected to the Capitol. Governor J.B. Pritzker says $7 billion will be available to schools over the next 3 years. The funds come from the American Rescue Plan. Pritzker also unveiled the Illinois Renewal Resource Guide. It's intended as a best practices guide to renew learning.
Whether it's academic and behavioral counseling, out-of-classroom experiences like high-value tutoring, after-school programs and summer camps, or creating individualized student profiles to craft the best plans for all students.
Local lawmakers say Harlem Unit School District 122 will receive over $21 million, while RPS 205 will get more than $208 million.
A township in Winnebago County breaks ground on its future community center. Roscoe officials helped clear the way for the building's foundation at Founders Park. The center will include a pavilion and stage, displays of indoor antique farm equipment, outdoor vendor area, farmers market area, walking paths, and community gardens. Funding for the project comes from a grant and existing tax dollars, so residents' wallets won't be directly impacted, supporters say.
It takes a lot of hard work and dedication and knowledge and experience to bring a project like this to fruition. And you need public servants who are willing to get in and do the work. And that's what we've got here in Roscoe Township.
The facility will be near the Robert J. Cross House. President Biden says his American Recovery Plan will help the economy bounce back from the pandemic.
The president announced the first part of his infrastructure plan. The administration says it will add millions of jobs. Washington correspondent Alexander Limon is keeping you connected to the nation's capital.
And that job creation is why the president is calling this infrastructure package the American Jobs Plan, saying it will create millions of new jobs, for example, in the clean energy and construction sectors. President Joe Biden wants to invest $2.3 trillion in America's infrastructure, with about a quarter of the money going toward repairing transit systems. The plan will also invest hundreds of billions to make water systems safer, expand broadband access, and increase affordable housing.
Addressing infrastructure, climate, and environmental justice together.
The president is also calling for significant investments in clean energy, dedicating $100 billion to modernizing the nation's power grid and making it more resilient to climate disasters. And the plan invests in charging stations to help shift the nation to electric cars. Senator Chuck Schumer says all of that will create millions of new jobs.
Every community, large and small, rural, suburban, and urban, will benefit from this robust American jobs plan.
Washington Democrats have lost their mind.
But the biggest challenge for President Biden will be getting Republicans like Missouri Congressman Jason Smith on board with the price tag after the government already spent trillions on pandemic relief bills.
Just within the last year, that comes to a total combined spending of $10 trillion, and all of it's being paid for by the largest tax increase in the history of the United States.
The president's proposed tax increases will actually undo some of the tax cuts to corporations and the richest Americans that were approved by the Republican Congress in 2017. Reporting in Washington, Alexandra Limon.
Now, your first warned weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Well, I'll tell you what, the wind the last couple of days has just been downright exhausting. With some of these stronger wind gusts we've had, it'd be nice to get a little bit of a break, and we'll see some of that here over the next 24 to 36 hours, but not so much for us this evening. Still, the wind gusting in at around 30 miles per hour coming in from the northwest, 26 mile per hour wind gusts in Freeport, Rochelle, and 30 mile per hour wind gusts right now in DeKalb. The problem with the wind, well, there's a couple of things. It's coming in from the north and northwest, so that's really put a chill in the air for today. Temperatures are good 20 to 25 degrees colder than where we've been the last couple of days. 37 in Freeport, Rochelle, 40 right now in Rockford, 39 for our weather watcher Ben in South Beloit, and Bob here in Rockford also checking in at 39 degrees. Our dew point temperatures are very low in the teens, so this kind of gives us a little bit of an idea of where we're going to drop to as we go through the night tonight. We've built in the cloud cover here late this afternoon, and those will stay with us here through much of this evening as we start to really pull in that colder air. Skies will stay partly to mostly cloudy here through this evening. Might even see a sprinkle or two from that over the next hour or two as that colder air comes in, kind of with a second push of that colder air. But high pressure building in across the plains will eventually move in our direction and work to clear us out here these next couple of days. So we hang on to the cloud cover, the wind, the chill here as we go through this evening. Skies will then turn partly cloudy during the overnight and then clear out once we head into tomorrow morning. It's going to be a cold start tomorrow. Temperatures are going to fall on either side of 20 degrees. And while we'll see some sunshine for tomorrow afternoon, you're still looking at a breeze coming in from the north at about 20 miles per hour. So despite some of the sunshine, it is still going to feel a little cool out there as temperatures will stay in the lower 40s. Notice, though, we'll stay clear, we stay dry, even as we head throughout the day on Friday. Friday begins our warming trend. We're back into the 50s for Friday afternoon, low 50s. Wind is going to pick up again for Friday and Saturday, but look at that. We've got the 70s returning. If we don't see it on Saturday, we're more than likely going to see it as we go throughout the afternoon on Sunday, and we've got a few more 70-degree days coming up after that going into next week. And the best part, things are looking dry too. Now, on average, our first 70-degree day typically occurs around April 1st. So we're actually pretty close to that and almost right on par. 20 though, that's where we go for tonight. Anything that maybe's come up that maybe isn't necessarily as hardy with some of that colder air, well, we're not into the heart of the growing season just yet, and we really haven't started it. Some things are starting to come up, so if you feel the need to, you may have to cover those up. There are freeze warnings actually further down south and further downstate. 42 for tomorrow afternoon, back down to 24 on Thursday, 53 on Friday, a little breezy there, but our Friday night football game should be okay, and any games going on Saturday should be good too. 68 for the afternoon. No problems, no rain for the Easter festivities this weekend, 72 on Sunday. Slight chance for some rain showers, guys, coming up as we look into early next week.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk. with Sports Director Scott Lepper.
COVID has struck a few high school football programs in our area the first couple weeks. Well, the NIC-10 had gone unscathed until now. The Auburn Knights, they need to quarantine for 2 weeks. Auburn Athletic Director Brad Pemberton tells me that some players in the program have been exposed to COVID-19. So Auburn's entire varsity team will be shut down. They cannot practice again until April the 11th. The Knights game this Friday against Jefferson is now off, and their next game next weekend against Boylan is also off. Boylan's players, or rather Auburn's players, will continue to meet virtually with head coach J.P. Total and his staff to do what they can to stay sharp mentally. Players will also continue to work out on their own. It's a tough blow for Auburn in the conference, but the odds were at some point during this 6-week stretch of football, the NIC-10 would be impacted.
It is going to be windy as we go through the night tonight. Temperatures down around 20 up to 42 for tomorrow afternoon. Dry and warmer heading into the weekend.
Sounds much better. Thanks, Candace.
And thank you for spending some time with us. Stay safe.